W8VPV. Repeater PL110.9. Net.
Good evening and welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club's Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. My name is Russ and my call is KDABYT. But for this transmission of Newsline, I will be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Without further ado, this is Amateur Radio Newsline.
Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2373 with a release date of Friday, April 21st, 2023 to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. In the U.S., the FCC commits itself to managing satellites more effectively. 2 losses hit the World Radio Sport Team Championship, and Nokia and NASA look at putting wireless on the moon. All this and more as Amateur Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2373 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's independent on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now, reporting from Union, Kentucky, here's Neil Rapp, WB9 VPG.
Our top story takes us to Washington, D.C., where two new FCC offices are taking a closer look at how to better handle all those satellites in orbit high above our planet. Andy Morrison, K9AWM, brings us up to date.
Hoping to get a better handle on regulating satellites and reducing the effects of orbital debris, the U.S. Federal Communications Commission has added two new departments under its umbrella, the Space Bureau and the Office of International Affairs. The move replaces the agency's International Bureau, which handled licensing and regulation of satellite programs and international telecommunications. The FCC's announcement did not specify what impact, if any, this move would have on amateur radio satellites. FCC Chairwoman Jessica Rosenworcel said at an opening event for the new departments that they would, quote, promote long-term technical capacity to address satellite policies and improve our coordination with other agencies on all these issues, end quote. The departments are expected to coordinate their efforts in such areas as the 2023 World Radio Communication Conference. The conference will take place in Dubai starting on November 20th. This is Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
Another U.S. government agency is taking a look at whether some frequencies need to be reallocated as more and more wireless devices get on the air. Stephen Kinford, N8WB, brings us that story.
In the United States, an increasing appetite for spectrum from wireless services has spurred the National Telecommunications and Information Administration to find at least 1,500 megahertz of the radio spectrum to meet that demand. The NTIA is looking for input from the public to identify which bands could be repurposed under this new spectrum strategy. The agency said on its website that the strategy is, quote, a government-wide approach to maximizing the potential of our nation's spectrum resources, end quote. The NTIA shares spectrum allocation duties with the Federal Communications Commission. In the United States, hams already share many UHF and microwave bands with government users. To learn more, follow the link in the text version of this week's Newsline script. This is Stephen Kinford, N8WB.
Meanwhile, a whole new wireless network of sorts is being looked at for the moon. Let's hear more from Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
An LTE 4G network destined for the moon is expected to launch on board a SpaceX rocket later this year, according to plans from the Finnish telecommunications giant Nokia. According to reports on CNBC, it's part of a partnership with NASA that envisions the creation of the first colony on the lunar surface. A message on Nokia's webpage states the network will be designed to support the transmitting of telemetry, biometrics, and sensing applications, and will also be available for HD video and robotics. Nokia states that the high bandwidth network will be a vital tool in NASA's plan for so-called sustainable exploration of the moon. NASA chose the Finnish telecommunications company in 2020, announcing Nokia's role in the Artemis lunar program to return a human presence to the moon, this time for extended operations by the end of the decade. According to the Nokia website, the network will include an LTE base station with integrated evolved packet core functionalities, LTE user equipment, and RF antennas. The system will have hardware redundancy and, through its software, the capacity for remote operation. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
The World Radio Sport Team Championship is going forward this summer in Bologna without one of its key referees, who has become a silent key. Graham Kemp, VK4BB, tells us about him.
The World Radio Sports Team Championship Committee is grieving the loss of a fellow contester and avid DXer from Texas, Richard King, K5NA. Richard had been chosen to be a referee for the WRTC 2022 event in Bologna in July. According to a report on the Daily DX, Richard was electrocuted April 12 while he was assisting another ham taking down a 40-meter antenna. The report goes on to say, Richard jumped in at the last moment to try and keep the antenna from getting snagged on a guy wire. The antenna hit a nearby power line. two nurses who live in the neighbourhood began CPR until emergency services could arrive, but Richard died shortly thereafter. He and his wife Susan, K5DU, are well known as serious contesters and DXers. WRTC 2022 organisers issued a statement saying, Richard's contribution to the sport of amateur radio will not be forgotten, and his legacy will continue to inspire and guide us in the years to come. Richard belonged to the Central Texas DX and Contest Club. I'm Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
Meanwhile, the defending championship team from Lithuania has announced that they will not defend their title when the World Radio Sport Team Championship goes forward in July. The international high-profile contest was postponed from last year because of the pandemic. The withdrawal announcement by defending championship team members Gedimus LY9A and Mindaugas LY4L was posted on the WRTC 2022 reflector, citing a number of frustrations and deeper differences with the organizers that they said will be keeping them at home. A free course in comprehensive instant character recognition is being offered by CW Innovations with the goal of helping active CW operators learn ways to increase their proficiency. The 10-week classes focus on teaching operators how to help themselves learn Morse code, addressing the mental and emotional roadblocks that have typically halted learners' progress. The class is designed for hams who can currently copy 10 to 15 words per minute and are already actively on the air having QSOs. Visit cwinnovations.net for details. The website includes an application form. What's better than having one great summer camp experience on the air? Having more of it, of course. That's about to become possible as we hear from Kevin Trotman in 5 PRE.
Just as young amateurs prepare for this summer's Youth on the Air America's Camp in Canada, camp organizers themselves learned that their summer experience for young hams has received a $125,000 grant from Amateur Radio Digital Communications. The funds now assure that the camp experience will continue through 2025 and that each session will become open to more campers than before. The current threshold of 30 will increase to 50 in the 2 years ahead. So pack your bags if you're going this year. Camp starts July 16th. And if you want to learn more or plan ahead for next summer, visit youthontheair.org. This is Kevin Trotman in 5 PRE.
If you've been wishing for solar maximum to come sooner rather than later in the current cycle, you might just get your wish, according to a group of solar physicists. Patrick Clark, K8TAC, has that story.
The end of this year or sometime next year could bring maximum sunspot activity for solar cycle 25, according to Scott McIntosh of the National Center for Atmospheric Research in Boulder, Colorado, and a team of solar physicists. The team presents its findings in a paper in the January edition of the Frontiers in Astronomy and Space Sciences. In the paper, the solar scientists make use of a terminator event during the previous cycle sometime in mid-December 2021 to project the maxima of solar cycle 25 and to forecast the cycle's amplitude. Although some might project differently for the future, this team believes it's best to keep your eye on the skies during the fourth quarter of 2023 and thereafter into the new year. This is Patrick Clark, K8TAC.
Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the N0LAR repeater of the Lamar Area Amateur Radio Club in Southeast Colorado, or on FM radio station KRHJ on 88.3 megahertz on Fridays at 5 p.m. In Hungary's National Ham Radio Society want to hear from you. Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, tells us why.
Hams around the world are being invited to provide their views and share their experiences about amateur radio through an online survey from the Hungarian Amateur Radio Society. The short survey asks questions about your personal preferences and radio history, but also wants to know what your priorities are, whether it's your operating preferences, your expectations from membership in a national society, or the roles you think a local club should have. There are also questions about whether you know very many active prospective younger operators. The Society is interested in having the survey responses in time for the youngsters on the Air Region 1 camp, which is hosting from the 5th to the 12th of August in Hungary. The group would also like to present the survey results at the IARU General Conference in November. A link to the survey appears in the text version of this week's Newsline script at arnewsline.org. This is Jeremy Bucci for NJH.
Hams in the U.S. may notice when they take the survey that the question about license class does not include the option to select the level of FCC license. The creators of the survey recommend that U.S. hams use HAREC, H-A-R-E-C, for extra, novice for general, and other classes, and entry for technician. One of the biggest ham radio weekends in the United States is about to get a little bigger. Here's Jack Parker, W8ISH, with that update.
If Hamvention doesn't give you a big enough dose of amateur radio when you're in Xenia next month, take a side trip to the National Voice of America Museum of Broadcasting in nearby Westchester, Ohio. The museum expands their hours for visitors during Hamvention and features new exhibits including a dedicated room for shortwave equipment and amateur radio. Other exhibits include a complete collection of R.L. Drake ham radio equipment that was originally in the lobby of R.L. Drake Corporation in Miamisburg, Ohio. The on-site WC8 VOA ham shack has new updated equipment, and yes, the station will be on the air for guest operators. The museum's expanded hours are Thursday, May 18th and Friday, May 19th from 1 until 9 p.m., Saturday, May 20th from noon till 9 p.m., and Sunday, May 21st from noon till 5 p.m., so that you can plan on a weekend of total radio immersion. You can find more details on the museum website at voamuseum.org. This is Jack Parker, W8ISH.
Hams who are fans of Grid Tracker will be happy to learn they're not alone. Its development team just won a major award. Here's Ralph Squillace, KK6 ITB, with the details.
Congratulations to Stephen Loomis, N0TTL, and the team that produced GridTracker.org for becoming recipients of the 4th Annual Amateur Radio Software Award. This international honor recognizes free, open projects developed in the spirit of sharing to enhance amateur radio operations everywhere. According to the award website, Grid Tracker was chosen for its ability to focus on visualizing radio traffic on FT8 and other modes, simplifying the process of tracking contacts, especially in contests. In the same spirit of sharing that helped create Grid Tracker, Stephen, who lives in Oregon, has asked the awards committee to provide a $300 grant to the National Alliance on Mental Illness of Oregon. The nonprofit advocacy, resource, and educational organization works to help those who have mental illness and assists their families. This is Ralph Squillace, KK6 ITB.
One member of the team is back home from the recent Bouvet Island 3Y0JD expedition, but not for long. John Williams, VK4JJW, tells us what he's got planned next.
Cesar VE3LYC is getting ready to put one of the Fiji Islands back on the air after too many years of things being quiet there. Yanaka Island, IOTA number OC189, was activated first in 1993 and again in 2007, but there's been no radio operation there since then. Cesar will be on the air May 1st through the 5th using the call sign 3D2LYC. DXWorld.net reports that his goal is to log 4,000 QSOs with 2,500 unique stations on 6 continents. He'll be on most of the HF bands and will operate both CW and SSB. While not as harsh an environment as the one found on remote Bouvet Island, Yanaka does not have any visitor accommodation. Cesar said he's been able to locate a generator and gas, as well as food and water to use during his stay. This is John Williams, VK4JJW. In the world of DX, listen for Harry JG7PSJ, who is on the air as JD1VMH from Ogasawara between April 24th and May 5th. Listen for him on 40 through 10 meters, where he's using CW sideband and ready
For QSL and other details, follow the link on QRZ.com to the JD1BMH webpage and monitor Twitter for updates. For our final story, we catch up with a very grateful soda activator who has this important message for all those hams who, like him, achieved the coveted status of mountain goat. Tag, you're it. Jim Dameron, N8TMW, tells us his story.
Altman, KO4YLZ, is looking for a few new goats. Actually, he's looking for a few old goats, too. Now, none of this has anything to do with age. It's a reflection of pride in Dave's recent accomplishment. The soda activator achieved mountain goat status in the Summits on the Air award scheme on March 30th, 11 months after making his first successful soda activation. When his informal mentor, Dean K2JB, celebrated his new status by saying, "Welcome to the herd," Dave felt inspired to give something back to colleagues in his own region. What better way to identify a local goat than with genuine ear tags, the kind of tags Dave sees often on some of the local livestock. Using the soda logo with permission, Dave had the durable plastic tags laser printed for all those in the W4 region of soda who attained the necessary 1,000 points for mountain goat status. He's giving them as gifts to fellow members of the herd, and no, he doesn't expect anyone to attach the tags to their ears. These are for bags used on soda outings. Dave said in a recent email to Newsline that he had already given out 7, but has many more. Using the soda reflector and the groups.io board for his local region, he's told fellow mountain goats to either email their name, call sign, and mailing address, or better still, meet up with him sometime for an activation. Picture it. Just a couple of mountain goats climbing their next summit together. That would not be so bad. This is Jim Dameron, N8TMW.
We remind our listeners that young hams who live in the continental United States have an opportunity to make news, if they aren't already doing so, by being a recipient of this year's Amateur Radio Newsline Bill Pasternak Memorial Young Ham of the Year Award. Consider nominating an amateur radio operator 18 years of age or younger, someone who has talent, promise, and a commitment to the spirit of ham radio. Find application forms on our website, arnewsline.org, under the YHOTY tab. Nominations are now open and close on May 31st. Do you have a piece of amateur radio news that you think Newsline would be interested in? We're not talking about advertising your club's upcoming Hamfest or Field Day participation, but something that is out of the ordinary. If so, send us a brief overview via the contact page at arnewsline.org. If it's newsworthy and we would like to cover it, we'll get back to you for more details. With thanks to Amateur Radio Software Award, Amateur News Weekly, AMSAT News Service, ARRL, CQ Magazine, CNN.com, Dave Altman, KO4YLZ, David Behar, K7DB, DXWorld.net, 425DX News, Frontiers in Astronomy and Space Sciences, Hungarian Amateur Radio Society, Jocelyn Brogue, KD8VRX/VA2VRX, National Telecommunications and Information Administration, Nokia, QRZ.com, shortwaveradio.de, Soda Reflector, Voice of America Museum, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer nonprofit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Neil Rapp, WB9VPG in Union, Kentucky, saying 7-3, and as always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2023. All rights reserved.
This concludes our Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. Net to start in about 10 minutes.
W8VPV. Repeater. W8VPV. Repeater.
operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday Night VHF UHF Net. My name is Frank. My call is WADZT, but for the purposes of this call, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is an open, directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information, to enhance net operating practices, and to keep club members informed and up-to-date about club happenings. This net meets here every Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. local time, preceded by Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01.
W8VPV. Repeater. PL110.9.
We'll start with some announcements, then ask for check-ins from any club member or officer with announcements of general interest. Then we'll take regular check-ins 5 at a time. Please give us a quick update about how your week went and what you're doing with AM radio. Then we'll take another 5, check those in, and repeat that process till we get down to the bottom of the page and the check-ins wind down. Then we'll repeat the announcements, do one more call for check-ins, and then wrap up the net. Announcements. This Wednesday, April 26th, 7:30 p.m. at Pilgrim United Methodist Church, corner of Broad and 2nd Street, we'll be having a Zoom speaker, Morgan Lyons, KI5SXY. She will do a presentation on rocketry and amateur radio. If you can't attend in person, please look for the Zoom link on our club calendar and join us via Zoom. I think this will be a very interesting presentation. I have not worked her, but other people have, and says she's an excellent speaker and always draws a pileup. Next up this Saturday, in the Cuyahoga Valley National Park, we will be doing a park activation. We'll be running 3 stations at O'Neill Woods. That's off Martin Road. All guests are invited to show up and take part in making on-air contacts, setting up the station, get an idea of how portable operations are done. Long term, it does not look like the weather is going to cooperate, but we'll probably have a canopy and be operating anyway. We'll be running under the call W8VPV. If you're interested, please contact Jim Berry, WA3JAT. Wednesday, May 10th, we've got a business meeting coming up. That will be the second and final round of officer nominations. If you either would like to help this club and become an officer or participate in the nomination process and nominate somebody else, please feel free to attend the meeting either in person or via Zoom. We'll also have a field day update, so we'll see what happens there. And of course, the following weekend, May 19th, 2021, is the Dayton Hamvention, so by all means have a good, safe trip down there if you're going down there. Wednesday, May 29th, we'll be doing an activity meeting. The program will be to be announced. Don't know what it is. Maybe Jim has some information for us. But if nothing else, if you were down at Dayton and got a new toy or interesting thing to play with, by all means bring it in and show us what you got. And just a reminder, we will have a band exploration net tonight on 80 meters. It'll be 3.827 or somewhere thereabouts. The atmosphere has been fairly disturbed. We had a CME hit us the other night. Had it not been raining last night, you would have seen some very strong aurora even around here, but Mother Nature prevented that. So it'll probably be just local check-ins. We'll see how 80 meter plays out then. Okay, that's the end of the announcements that I have. Do we have any officers or members with announcements of general information for the club or corrections or clarifications to my announcements? Please come now. All right, either I got it all right or nobody's listening. Anyway, we'll give it a try then. Looking for check-ins 5 at a time, please. Give me your call and I'll make sure I got it, and then we'll move on to the next. When I get 5, we'll go back and check in 1 at a time. Go ahead now.
X Whiskey Oscar 3 X-ray.
Okay, I got two there. I got WB8CXO Mike, and I got WO3X John. Next check-in, please.
D8YAX.
I have you Forrest. Next check-in.
November 8, November Hotel, Martin Akron, in and out.
All right, I got you in and out then. Next. All right, do we have any more check-ins for the Monday Night Nap?
KHKVI, Romeo.
Bravo, Alpha, Yankee, Ralph, Stowe, in and out. Okay, I got KVI, I got a Ralph in Stowe who is in and out. Ralph, could you give me your call sign again? November 8, Bravo, Alpha, Yankee. All right, I got you, Ralph. Thanks for checking in there. And there's somebody else under there also. Okay, the person trying to check in, your radio has the wires functionality turned on. Key the microphone, wait about 4 seconds, and then give your call sign and name, please.
AP8OU.
All right, Zeke, I got you. Again, the other station, key the microphone, wait about 3-4 seconds, and then give your name and call sign.
Kilo Delta 8, Yankee Delta Romeo. Dale in Cuyahoga Falls.
Dale, good to hear you. Long time no hear. Hope things are going good with you. All right, I got more than 5 here, so let me break the check-ins right now. We'll head back to the top. WB8CXO, good evening, Mike. And I apologize, I fell asleep last night while listening to you guys on 220 and woke up about 2 hours later and everybody was gone. So that's where I went. W8VPV, go ahead, Mike. Yeah, audio is a bit strong, very intense, but yeah, good copy.
Time. Repeater. Out.
Mike, we got about the first 2 minutes of that or so, and then repeater got you, but sounds like you're having fun with that new radio. Anything else for the net? All right, Mike, have a real good evening there. All right, next up, John, WO3X. Go ahead.
Good evening, Frank, and all on the net. This is WO3X. Yeah, you got it right, Mike. Thanks. Yeah, I also went to the Tusco Hamfest there, and I picked up an MFJ, I forget what the letters are, but a 994 auto tuner, which it gets its DC supply from the coaxial cable going to it using a bias tee in the house here. So I already have that set up for my homemade tuning box out there at that shunt-fed tower. And what I use that for is to switch between 80 meters and 160 meters.
I want you to know I had that in my hands, John, and I almost bought it. The price was right, and it looked like it was brand new. So very good, and I'm sure you got a good deal because the price was very good they were offering me. I hope it works really good for you.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's see. Oh, okay. I saw your report there. Was $7 the total amount for the see what you want, pay what you think, or whatever table? Was that the total for that? $7?
No. We were draining that throughout the morning. I think Anthony might have most of the numbers. I just have the last. That was the very last. As I was leaving to pick up the signs, I decided to rate it once more because I had to put it away and take it back to the storage unit. And there was $7 left in there, so I took that out and added that to what I'm going to reimburse the club for.
Oh, okay, very good. That's good. Yeah, because that table was pretty empty compared to how it was when there was like the maximum amount of stuff on it. So, okay, very good. Yeah, so one of these days we'll have to have a Hamfest follow-up meeting. So think about how we could do that. I guess it would be all the officers and trustees and Bruce. Well, maybe, I don't know if we need all the officers, but think about that, Frank, and let me know what you think. So with that, back to the net, this is WO3X.
Okay, John. Yeah, the comment was made we should meet in person. I'm not quite sure where to do that, but I'm open to ideas. But yeah, we need to do that in the next week or so to get down on paper what some of the issues we had this year. I also want to empty my trailer out and get that stuff into the back into the barn. Maybe Thursday for that. We'll have to see. Thanks, John. Appreciate that. We'll take care of that. KD8YAX, Forrest, go ahead, sir.
I've got nothing to add. Intelligent. I'm just trying to help keep numbers up.
All right, thank you very much, and I will be there to pick you up Wednesday about 6:15 or so for the meeting.
Where?
This coming Wednesday, 2 days from now, I'll pick you up about 6:15 for the meeting, okay?
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, very good then. Let's see. He was in and out. Next up, Ron, KE8KVI. How you doing tonight, Ron?
Not too bad, Frank. Working on a couple of technical issues as usual. Got a couple of weird ones, but other than that, it's been a quiet day.
Oh, very good. Not the warm that we had a week and a half ago, but and it's not snow either, so I won't complain. All right, Ron, appreciate the check-in. We'll catch you down the page. Next up, another in-and-out Zeke. Next up is Zeke, AB8OU. Go ahead, sir. AB8OU. Are you in there, Zeke? All right, nothing heard there. We'll come back and see if he's out there again. Next up, Dale, KD8YDR. Long time no hear. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I hope y'all are doing good too. Yeah, kind of ran into some things with work and wasn't able to get on the radio for a while, and lost my power supply, and then both my antennas went down in the storm, so now we're back up and running, just trying to make sure everything's working okay.
Well, very good. You're coming through 5x9. No problems at all. Good audio, and yeah, I hadn't realized how much damage that storm did to me. I didn't lose any antennas, but I had some big second generation oak trees, big 6-7 foot around the base in my backyard, and all the branches were ripped down off that. Couldn't get my chainsaw started, but I'm going to have a lot of cutting up to do this summer. So, yeah, that was pretty serious. Pat said 70-mile-an-hour winds or so. So, that was not good. All right, Dale, good hearing you in there. Don't be a stranger. I hope to catch you down in future nets. As you know, there's somebody here every Monday night. So, thanks for checking in. Let's see, I'm down here at the bottom of the list, so let me get 5 more check-ins. If you're out there, please sign in now.
November 8, Oscar Quebec Papa, Pat in Akron.
BSA, Keith in Akron. Okay, I got Pat and I got Keith next.
November 8, America Charlie Papa.
I got UACP next.
WTK.
It sounded like Bill, and there was a double in there. Was that you, Bill?
Affirmative.
KA8WTK, and the other double, please?
K8ZT.
All right, I got Anthony here, K8ZT. Let me get back to the top, and we'll go from here. Go ahead, Pat.
Good evening, everybody, and nice to hear you, Dale. It's been a while. Good to hear you made it in again. Don't really have a whole lot tonight. Do want to thank everybody that once again for participating in the Hamfest and all that that we had. I saw a lot of pictures of the Tusco Fest, and the announcer of that was giving away the prizes was actually a good friend of mine. It was Jerry that I do a podcast with. So I hope everybody had good luck with him. He's a peach and a half. As far as the Rocket Girl goes, we've got her coming this coming Wednesday. It will be on Zoom, but she'll be able to still come to the meeting and see it live via Zoom. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to cover. Frank, I did get that email. It's I'm going to probably mail the one copy of it out. It'll go out in the mornings. Its market is being dealt with. I think that's it. I'll go ahead and turn it back to Ned, and y'all have a good week. And QP.
W.
All right, very good, Pat. It doesn't have to be mailed out. I think you can just email it to the gentleman whose address was in the original email. Of course, maybe you don't have that anymore. But in either case, very good. Appreciate that. And you saw the results of much of that was that donation, so it certainly helps the club. All right, let's see here. Next up, KBSA. Keith, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. This is Keith, KBSA. Mobile. I'm sitting in the parking lot scout meeting. Just waiting to leave here. A couple things. I planning on hoping to get out to Camp Manitowoc this weekend and put WD8BSA on the air. And as for a field day, I'm going to go ahead and reserve that one campsite that I had last year where we set food up and such before it gets away from us. I haven't looked yet to see if it has. Back to you, KHZ.
Very good, Keith. Yeah, we have been remiss and done no real planning on field days, so that's something I want to get underway and figure out what we're going to do this year. Anthony did a marvelous job of organizing it last year, but he's going to be out of town, so we have to run with the ball. That'll be part of the topic of the business meeting for me, for certain. All right, thanks, and Keith, appreciate it. And 8ACP, Chris, good afternoon, or good evening, I should say, and did you make our Hamfest a week ago?
Good evening there, Frank. I did not make the Hamfest. It was a nice day, so I was out working. And I don't know what's going on with the repeater, but man, you are smoking the microphone. I mean, the gain is way too high, so I don't know. And almost everybody is that way, so I'm not sure. I can listen to people on the input. They sound okay. You're still smoking in on the input, Frank. But yeah, maybe turn your gain down a little bit because it's fracturing on the repeater. Hopefully, I'm not doing the same. I've got my gain down to 3, so we'll see what happens. Let's see what else is going on. Major solar event, of course. Band conditions have not been good on the upper bands. Because of that, I did manage to work Turks and Caicos this evening, and that was about it. It hasn't been great, so, but I'm sure it'll pass in a day or two, and we'll move on from there. So, anyways, that's all I got, Frank. Back to you, W8VPV from N8ACP.
All right, very good, Chris. I'll try to remember to back the mic away from my mouth. I tend to start with it back there, and then as the net goes on, it gets closer and closer, so I'll try to keep it back there. Hopefully this is a little bit better then, but thanks for coming back, thanks for the numbers, and well, maybe we'll see you next year at the Hamfest then. All right, next up I show Bill Ramsey, KA8WTK. Good afternoon, or good evening again. I don't know why I'm saying afternoon. Go ahead, Bill.
I'm his relative, Frank. WAVPV, KA8WTK. Bill and Talmadge. Yep, spent some time this week adjusting the ropes on some of the wire antennas out there and some of the guy antennas. They were beginning to stretch a little bit, and I noticed the one antenna sagging a little bit, and go, that's not right. And went to investigate, and a lot of the ropes needed tightened up a little bit. Helps to keep them taut. They don't blow around, and you don't get whipping. Other than that, not much else going on around here. Waiting for springtime to return. Not this type of spring we're having, but the warm stuff that was there. Go out and get more done. So back to you, Frank. W8VPV, KA8WTK.
All right, thanks, Bill. I have discovered if you keep those wires too tight, your antenna starts getting longer and tuning further down the band, especially after a windstorm and the trees are moving opposite directions. So hopefully there's some spring tension in there to keep it to give it some slack. But very good, Bill. All right, and next up, Anthony, who is back from a week-long train trip, as I understand it. Go ahead, KZT.
Sorry I missed the beginning of that. I'm assuming that you announced the Parks on the Air event for this coming Saturday. I'm just getting back to normal here. I got in at 5:30 this morning in Cleveland. We went out to the Grand Canyon, took the Grand Canyon Railway up to the canyon, then back down to Williams, and then back to Flagstaff, and then back to Albuquerque, where we took the Rail Runner up to Santa Fe, and then back from Albuquerque on the last 2 days. So we had a good time, spent a lot of time on the train, on the Southwest Chief. It was a lot of fun. So I won't be able to be at the meeting on Wednesday night, but I will be there via Zoom because I'm doing a presentation at 9 p.m. on Field Day with the Rat Pack group. Marty Wall and myself will be doing our Field Day update for this year. And by the way, anyone that wants to be Field Day chairperson, I'm more than happy to sit down with you and help plan everything out before I leave. And so I'd be happy to help get everything ready to go, but I just won't be there for the event. This is KHZT.
Very good, Anthony. Yeah, we're going to try to put that together and get it underway in the next week or so. And one thing you could do to help, if you have a list of the participants and volunteers from last year, I've been looking around and I can't find it, a copy that I might have had. So if you got a list of volunteers, I sure would appreciate it then. All right, looks like I'm at the bottom of the list, so looking for more check-ins. This is W8VPV, the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club, looking for 5 check-ins, call signs only.
Alpha Charlie 8 X-Ray Oscar.
To Vince next.
8 HMS.
Got you, Steve, on the UHF side. Next.
K8PU.
Got you, Larry. Next. A lot of noise there. I didn't hear a voice. Try that again. Sorry, all I'm hearing is noise. You're getting into the repeater solid, but I'm not hearing any audio on that. If you can up your power, get to a higher location, maybe try a different antenna, we'll be here for a few minutes and we'll give it a try again. Do we have any other check-ins? This is W8VPV.
W03X recheck.
Go ahead, recheck.
The Aries meeting this Thursday, it's going to be finalizing FL Digi, so bring your laptop and a handheld radio set for 441.0 megahertz simplex. The APRS is going to be at the May meeting. So with that, back to the net, this is W03X.
Thanks, John. And I will also add 2 other things. Due to the political nature going on in Akron right now and some of the sporadic protests, the meeting has been moved from the Summit County Red Cross on Market Street to the Stowe City Building. I believe it's in the Commissions and Boards room. And secondly, because of the Red Cross timing, the Aries meeting now starts at 6 p.m. and goes 6 to 8 rather than 7 to 9. So you'll want to be, if you're going to make this meeting, it'll be 6 p.m. at the Parks and Recs room in the Stowe City Hall. At least that's the last information I have. Is that correct then, John?
The room is Commission and Board or something like that, or Board and Commission.
All right, very good. I'm sure there'll be other people wandering around that can help you get there then. All right, thanks, John. And let's see, I had 3 check-ins, so we'll take those and then see who else is out there. Vince, our newsletter editor, AC8XO, go ahead.
Good evening, Frank, and everybody else on the net. Just checking in and doing my monthly wine, weekly wine, whatever. Anybody wants to get articles in, it's about that time. I'll throw out an email here in the next day or 2. Other than that, that's all that's going on in Silver Lake. So AC8XO, back to that.
W.
All right, I will have an article for you this month, certainly on the Club Hamfest, and lots of pictures there. So you'll have at least one article there, and I'm sure some others will be contributing also then. Let's see here. Next up, Steve, K8HMS on the UHF side. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, hi, Frank. Hi, everybody. Good to hear you. And glad I got that beep out of the way here a while back. Nothing much going on. Just been doing some work outside, getting a new fence put in the backyard, so I've been working on tearing down the old fence. And other than that, nothing too exciting. Yeah, sorry I missed the Ham Fest, but I was tied up with other stuff, so anyhow, yeah, I guess that's about it. I didn't get in early enough for announcements and stuff, but I didn't hear where the 9:30 net's going to be. So, other than that, I guess that's about it. I believe field days coming up already. W8VPV, KHMS.
All right, Steve. It'll be somewhere on 80 meters, 3.827. Let me look at my notes here real quick. Yeah, 3.827 or somewhere thereabouts. I haven't turned my receiver on yet. We had some very heavy, I think a G4 solar storm and a rather large CME hit the planet yesterday, so I don't know what the condition of the bands is today, but it may be just local only, so we may not have any trouble finding an open spot tonight. I will announce it on the 2-meter repeater just before the net starts at about 9:28 or so, so stand by. But it'll be somewhere around 3.827. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate the check-in. And next up is Larry, K8PU.
Frank, everybody in the net? Well, nothing new and exciting, just trying to adjust to the weather after those 80-degree days. Sure enjoy that. Now I was out there walking around, I can see where, well, it warms up a little bit, got a lot of grass to mow again. Okay, Frank, I can't do 80, so look forward to seeing you guys all Wednesday evening at the meeting. So back to your W8VPV, K8PU.
All right, Larry, always good hearing you in there then. All right, once again, I'm at the bottom of my list, so looking for any check-ins. Call site only. We'll take 5 if they're out there. Go ahead now.
Kilo Echo 8, Golf Kilo Oscar.
Kilo Echo 8, Golf Kilo Oscar, and I should know that. Please, once more.
Kilo Echo 8, Golf Kilo Oscar. It's Jody in Lafayette. Thought you only wanted the call sign.
Jody, I'm sorry, Jody, I just could not remember your name. I haven't done the net long enough to do that, so, all right, we got you in there. Next.
KD8VYT.
KD8VYT, Russ, our amateur radio Newsline guy. Got you in there. Next. WA8WFX, Floyd. And you're probably back from your honeymoon, or not honeymoon, your 50th anniversary trip. Need to get together with you and hear how that all went. All right, next.
Kilo Echo 8, Victor, Quebec X-ray. Got the antenna plugged in.
KE8VQX, and the name to go with that, please.
Joe in Akron, Ohio.
Yeah, you're coming in loud and clear. All right, let me get back to the top here. KE8GKO. Jody, go ahead, sir.
Just a real quick good evening to everyone. Hopefully everybody's having fun on radio. I know this the solar corona mass ejection that we've had kind of messed things up a little bit, but besides that, just stay on the bands and keep working. 10 meters has been open late into the night. I've talked to Alaska a couple times and clear as a bell, and a whole bunch of other countries as well. On 10 meters, 17 meters, as well as 20, 40, and 80, all the bands are open. So, yeah, this is just a little setback with this little ruckus the sun's giving us right now, but just get on there around midnight, 1 o'clock, if you don't have to work the next day. Good time to listen in there for New Zealand, Tasmania, all those ZLs and BKs out there, and everybody have lots of fun on the radio. KD8TKO back to net control.
Very good, Jody. It's yeah, for those of you who are, you've gotten your license in the last couple of years, we are approaching the peak solar activity and peak radio activity, shall we say. So definitely get on the HF bands and make those contacts. In 5 or 6 years, I'm afraid you're going to be turning the radio on and you're just going to hear background noise. So enjoy this wonderful solar weather while we have it. All right, next up, Russ, KD8VYT, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Had a good time at the Ham Fest. the only money I spent was on food. And, yeah, on food. And it was a pretty good breakfast they served. I liked it. That's a pretty good food truck. So, I don't have much else to say. Thinking about putting together a plan to get T-shirts or something for the Seafort Club. And since I'm doing them for the Sarah Club now, once I get situated around, we'll look into that. Other than that, that's all I got. And this is KD8VYT 73.
Right, very good, Russ. And of course, thanks for all of your help at the Hamfest. In addition to everything else, he was also our 50-50 guy and helped bring some more money into the club there. And we don't have a total figure yet. We'll probably have that available at our May business meeting. But we have every reason to believe the Hamfest was a success, and we're certainly going to plan on doing it again next year. And for all of you who helped and all of you who attended, thank you very much then. All right, Floyd, WAA-WFX, good evening. I haven't heard you for a while. How you doing?
We're doing okay, Frank. I think I checked in last week for a brief moment. But in any case, yeah, we're back. We've been back since the 13th from Aruba, and it was very nice. I can tell you all about it later, and we've got lots of pictures you can look at. So. Anyway, it was a really nice trip. We enjoyed it very much. And I don't have too much to say. I'm sorry to say I missed the Hamfest. I just had another obligation and I couldn't get away enough even to get up there for a few minutes. I was hoping to. But I had to plan my days better next year. Okay, all I want to do is say hello to everybody and have a good evening. Try and stay warm until it warms back up again. WA8WFX.
All right, very good, Floyd. Yeah, we'll set something up in the next week or two. Things are slowing down for me now. The Hamfest is behind me, and I don't think I'm going to go to Dayton this year, so I'll have a little bit of time to socialize. So look forward to catching up with you and Jan then. All right, very good then. Let's see here. Bottom of my list, I've got KE8VQX Joe. Good evening. How you doing?
VPV, this is KE8VQX. Hi, Frank and everybody. Sorry about the noise earlier. When I leave town, I disconnect everything and ran in the door, and I was actually surprised I made the repeater with 10 foot of coax coiled up on the floor. Anyway, just got back into town just flying from San Francisco to Cleveland this afternoon, and got over near Salt Lake City, and both GPSs in the airplane went out. We have other systems, inertial systems and stuff for navigation, but here I thought it was smart and thought it was the CME and the G4 disturbance, but turns out they were actually doing some GPS jamming over there. Didn't last long, about 5 minutes, we got it all back. Anyway, nice to hear everybody, and I'll turn it back to you, Frank. W8VPV, this is KE8VQX 73.
Very good, Joe. Yeah, that could be a long flight, and even longer if you're up there running the show. But very good hearing you in there, and thanks for the check-in, and have a good, relaxing rest of your week then. All right, I'm at the bottom of the list, so I'm looking for 5 more check-ins for the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday night, VHF, UHF net. If you can hear me and you want to check in, do so now.
WA3JAT.
WA3JAT, Jim, next.
W8MJS.
Okay, sounded like there was a double, maybe even a triple. Let's see if we can sort them out. There was somebody whose call ended with an F, as in Fox. Go ahead now. Somebody's call had an F somewhere in it. Try it now. Okay, somebody try checking in.
WD8MJS.
MKS. Boy, I know that call. I can't remember your name. It's been a long week. Go ahead. So I recognize you. I just can't remember the name. I got WD8 MKS next.
This is Kilo 8 Bravo India.
KHBI. Bill, long time no hear. I'll get back to you in a second. Good to hear you in there. Do we have any more check-ins? Right, back to the top of the list. Jim, WA3JAT. Go ahead.
W8VPV, WA3JAT returning. Good evening to everyone. Almost missed the net here. Forgot it was Monday. I'm glad you're still had enough check-ins that you were still running the net so that I didn't miss it.
We covered it. If you want to add anything on the park activation, go ahead. I did mention it during the announcements, and I'll cover it again as I wrap the net up.
Okay, no problem. Actually, this Saturday, of course, prior to that, we do have our program today. Just mentioned that I talked to earlier today and presentation, and I know I'm looking forward to hearing it. Okay, then as far as Saturday program, cross my fingers that the weather forecast changes before then. It looks very favorable right now, but we do have, it was 7 or 8 people that have signed up on the website. There was a couple blast emails sent out with that link. If you haven't already signed up, let us know so that we're prepared for the number of people who are coming. And that's going to run from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. In the afternoon on Saturday out at O'Neill Woods on Martin Road in Bath. So looking forward to it, and hope everyone else is as well. W8VPV, back to you.
All right, very good. Now I'll try to be out there around 9 for setup or so, and yeah, it definitely looks like canopy weather, so we'll play it by ear. All righty then, I think it was WD8MKS. Go ahead.
W8VPV, WD8MKS. As a refresher, the name here is Ken, Kilo Echo Nancy. Yeah, it's probably been several months since I've been on the net, so I'm not surprised that you forget the name. It's easy to do.
All right, Ken, well, I appreciate it. Did you, by any chance, get a chance to attend our Hamfest this year?
Yes, I did, and didn't drop, too much in the way of bucks. I think I got out of there, including the admission for for about 25. Nothing of any significance purchased, just some odds and ends.
Yep, you never know when you need that adapter or that connector or some little odds and ends show up and you say, gee, I think I need to get one of those. Glad you didn't spend too much, but glad you were there, and hope you had a real good time, and well, we're going to try to do it again next year, so thanks very much then, Ken. Appreciate that. Anything else for the net?
Negative. I just motoring home from the Northampton Historical Society meeting and said, hey, I still got time. So I grabbed the radio real quick and turned it on.
Very good, very good. Are they meeting at the town hall? I think it's open again now.
Yes, sir. Meeting at the town hall. And they did a nice job on the inside. Of course, nothing's ever perfect, and I would have liked to have seen some other things done differently, but overall, it's a really nice-looking building right now.
Very good. I have not seen the inside of it since they finished it up, but I'm glad to see they put handicap ramp in, and I'm glad you guys are in there. So, all right, thanks, Ken. Appreciate the check-in, and we'll catch you down the page. Next up, Bill, K8BI. How you doing? I haven't seen you for a while, so hope all's well with you.
Well, congratulations on a good ham fest. I couldn't attend in person, but I did have a ticket. And, yeah, it's been busy. Sorry I missed a couple lunch hours. I had a doctor appointment to get a couple of crusty vertebrae poked and prodded on this morning. And I had a friend take me out to the park this afternoon and walked a couple miles, so I guess they didn't hit anything vital while they were working on stuff. And, yeah, my other project, I was going to mow yesterday, and I found out I had a wobbly spindle, so I ordered one last night. So I hope it comes quick so I can get that grass cut, because it's growing like crazy. I hope everyone's going to have a great week coming up, and look forward to hearing everyone down the road. So take her easy, W8VPVKBI.
Very good, Bill. Unfortunately, my yard is swampy. It's beyond wet, and yes, the grass is exploding, and I got all these branches down from those windstorms, and they're getting intertwined in the grass now, and my lawnmower has 2 flat tires, so I got a couple hours of work before the grass is even going to feel threatened. And the rain may hold me off. I guess it's supposed to be wet most this week and through the weekend. So, but that's Ohio. That's spring. I can deal with it. I'll get to it when I get to it. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate the check-in then. And once again, I'm at the bottom of my page. So, do we have check-ins? We'll take them one at a time right now. We've gone through a bulk of them. So, if you haven't checked in yet, want to, go ahead now. Give me your call. Silent. We'll go. This is W8VPV, the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday night VHF UHF net. If you want to check in, now's the chance. All right, we'll run through the announcements and wrap this net up then. All right, this Wednesday we have our activity meeting coming up. We'll be meeting in person at the Pilgrim United Methodist Church, Broad and 2nd Street. Our speaker will be a Zoom speaker. It'll be Morgan Lyons, KI5SXY. She is going to be doing a presentation on rocketry and ham radio. She's a student at a university specializing in rocket and aerospace science in, I believe, Texas, and she's integrated ham radio into a lot of her rocketry projects. So should be a very interesting presentation. If you can't make it in person, please go to our club calendar, get the Zoom link, and join us via the Zoom link capability. And we hope to see you there. I'd like to give her a good audience for a presentation. Coming up Saturday is the National Park Activation. We'll be running 3 stations at O'Neill Roads. The access to that is off Martin Road. All guests are invited to come out, see what's happening, see how portable operations are set up, perhaps make some contacts on the air. We'll be running from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you have more interest in this, want to get involved, you can contact Jim Berry, WA3JAT, who just checked in a few minutes ago. Let me pause for time. Wednesday, May 10th, will be our business meeting. It'll be our second and final round of officer nominations. If you'd like to help move this club forwards, please consider being an officer and or a trustee. We have trustee positions open. We have president and vice president positions open, and maybe more. I don't have my list in front of me right now, so by all means consider doing that. And we will be holding a field day meeting during that just to figure out what the interest is and what we want to do this year for field day, how many stations and so on. And we'd like to get field day captain moving and get this project underway. Of course, the following weekend is the world-famous Dayton Hamvention, 19th through 21st, down in, now Xenia, Ohio, right next door to Dayton. So I'm sure a lot of you will be attending that. The fellowship meeting will be May 29th. The activity meeting, I should say, May 29th. I'm not sure what we'll be talking about yet, but if you do get a fascinating little goodie at the Hamfest, Dayton Hamvention, by all means bring it along for a show and tell. We'd certainly like to see that. And finally, the band exploration net tonight will be on 80 meters at 3.827 megahertz or thereabouts. I'll announce it on the 2-meter repeater coming up here at about 9:25 or so. I got to get down there and see what's open, but I think with the solar activity it'll be open. So anyway, we'll go back and try one more chance at check-ins, and if not, we'll wrap this meeting up, this net up, I should say. Do we have any last check-ins for the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday night VHF UHF net?
Kilo Echo 8, Yankee Bravo.
W03X recheck again.
Go ahead, recheck.
Yeah, regarding the elections, we still don't have a nominee for the secretary. We have nominees for the other positions. So with that, back to the net. This is W03X.
All right, very good. I'll have to get with you and get that list when the net's over. I didn't have a pencil going. Somebody was filling out a ticket when those nominations were going on. All right, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, wrapping up the net. In preparing to close this net, I'd like to stop and thank every one of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. Without your participation, there would be no net. This has been Frank, W8EZT, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close this net with 24 check-ins, myself included, and return this repeater to normal and customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor closing the net at 9:24 p.m. 73, everybody, and we'll have an announcement in just a minute or two on where the band exploration net will be. All right, thank you very much. Well, thanks, Mike. The KE8 station, if you want to go ahead and check in now, go ahead.
Kilo Echo 8, Yankee Bravo Yankee.
I'm not the KE8 station, but NAWHJ, just for checking.
Stranger, NAWHJ. How you been? Long time also no here. I guess you're sharing radios with Dale, so if he's off the air, you are too.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how it works. Good to hear you guys, and I'll be checking in more often. We got the radios working, so have a good evening, NAWHJ.
Very good. Once again, we were using your voice advertising the Hamfest, so thank you for that. All right, then. The net's closed. I'm going to go listen around on 80 meters and see if I can find a band opening, and I'll get back here and notify everybody in just a minute or two. And we got you checked in. W8EZT, I'll be clear.
Port. Link off.
I'm sorry, Mike. Were you calling me? The W8EZT here. All right, if he's still there, I'll take him as late check-in. No problem at all. The last one I had was Justine, and she was N8WHJ.
Kilo Echo 8, Yankee Bravo Yankee.
Repeater.
All right, I was over on the input also, and I couldn't hear him, so it must be pretty low signal. To the station out there trying, please try again next week, and we'll try to catch you then. I'm going to have to put the mic down and get down on 80 meters and see what I can find open here. Mike, if you can pick him up, catch me on 80, and I'll log him in on the 2-meter log.
Yeah, the PL tone is 110.9. This is WO3X.
I think I knew who that was, Mike, WB86. So that's Jim's grandson who just got licensed, and he might not have the HT set up right. I just got a text from Jim that he was trying to get in. And you're right, the call was correct, KE8YBY. So we got you logged in there. I didn't get your name, but congratulations on getting your ham ticket, and we'll get you next week for sure. And now I do have to get over and find an open spot on the band here on 80 meters. W8EZT, I'm going to QSY to 80 meters.
W8VPV. Repeater. PL.
Might have been simplex on the output. I heard him 5.9 over here in Cuyahoga Falls. I thought he was going through the repeaters and something like this. So I guess you have to wait for the repeaters to drop to zero. There's definitely 5.9. He must have had TCPSS on because it was enough to wake up my radio. That's it. KHPI.
We are going to be doing the 80-meter net right on 3.827 tonight. Phonetically by your name and location. All right, stand by, Force. We'll get to you. We'll get to the point where we call for check-ins, and that's your turn. Some announcements. April 26th, we'll have our activity meeting at Pilgrim United Church. This will be a presentation by Morgan Lyons, KI5SXY, on model rocketry and amateur radio. She is a student at a Texas college involving aeronautics and rocketry, and has integrated ham radio into her rocketry classes. If you can't attend in person, please go to our club website, look for the Zoom link on the calendar, and attend via Zoom. This is one you don't want to miss. Again, Forrest, we'll get you when I say it's time to check in. That's your call. Next announcement, this Saturday we'll be activating the Cuyahoga Valley National Park from 10 to 2 p.m. That'll be at O'Neill Woods off Martin Road. Anybody interested to come on out and see what remote operation is all about, maybe get on the air and make some contacts. We appreciate it. If you want more information, contact our President Jim Berry, WA3JAT. Our business meeting is coming up on the 10th. That'll be our second and final round of officer nominations. We'll also be doing a quick field day meeting to get some planning underway for that. The following weekend, of course, is the Dayton Hamvention, 19th, 20th, 21st. Always a good time for anybody that makes it down there. May 29th, we'll have our activity meeting, a program to be announced, so hang in there. All right, all the announcements are done. We will take check-ins unless somebody has any announcements. I'll take check-ins, and let me get a blank piece of paper here. And I've got Forrest down as the first check-in, so stand by. Fresh page. All right. K8YAX. Forrest, I got you. Anything new for the net? Okay, we got you checked in there. I hope everybody else can understand me. Looking for another check-in? K8HLS. Steve, how am I doing down in the valley?
Yeah, we got a pretty good copy on you down here, Frank. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I sometimes switch back and forth between my long wire that I'm transmitting on to my multi-band dipole to receive. Sometimes I receive better on that than the long wire. But anyway, copying you okay, and thanks for running both nets. And yeah, and I just curious, I guess, I saw he lives on Chart Road. I didn't know he must be pretty close to you there, maybe. But anyway, that's about it. That's me, the WAVTV.
Frequencies in use.
All right, Steve, got you in there. And Forrest, I do have you. You're in the log. So, Forrest, we've got you. And looking for the next check-in, W8VPV.
WO3X, Whiskey Oscar 3 X-ray.
All right, got you, John. How you doing tonight?
Doing okay. I see there's a high noise floor and hardly any signals except somebody was sending something there momentarily. I don't know if you heard that. It was some kind of chirps or something. What do you think that could have been?
It might have been one of the digital modes. I did hear it briefly in there. It sounded weird, but I had my notch filter on, so he was trying to get rid of it, and that always gives you weird results. Yeah, I think the band is still scrambled from that CME the other night, last night. If we hadn't had clouds, we would have, I was looking at the Aurora map, we would have definitely seen a heck of an Aurora last night. But so be it, that's Mother Nature. All right, well, John, anything else for the net?
No, that's all. Like I said earlier, the only open position, where there's no nominee is secretary. Secretary, we need a nominee for. So back to the net, this is WO3X.
All right, I think, okay, very good then. Thanks, John, appreciate that. Looking for more check-ins, this is W8DPV, the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club.
AB8OU.
All right, I got Zeke, AB8OU, I think I heard Jim in there, WA3JAT. That's about the 7th check-in. We got you. Can you hear me, Forrest? You are checked in, Forrest, again and again. You are in. Let's see here. Let me get up to Zeke. AB8OU. Got you. Go ahead, Zeke.
AB8OU. Good evening, Frank and everyone. Not much here. Yeah, I'm in a Zoom meeting, so I'm going to be brief and turn it back to you and get back to my meeting, AB8OU.
All right, very good then, thanks. WA3JAT, go ahead.
WA3PV, WA3JAT. Actually, I'm texting back and forth with Nick right now. That was who was trying to check into the net if you want to add him to your list, but I'll work for you two things with that radio so next we won't have a problem.
Okay, I've got him as like 25th and last check-in, so he's in the log officially, and please welcome him, and again, congratulate him on getting his ham radio license there. So, and as I say, I'll be up there for the activation Saturday, rain or sun. Anything else for the net?
No, that's all. Nice. Other than I guess I need to pay attention to what day of the week it is so I don't miss the net.
Details. Thanks, Jim. All right, KHZT, go ahead, Anthony. Yes, for the 9th time, Forrest, you are being heard. You have been checked in. Very good, Anthony. We got a local station here that keeps was over on top of you, but I got the gist of that then. And thanks for checking in, and we'll catch you, hopefully on Zoom Wednesday. All right. Once again, Forrest, you are checked in. We have you in the log. Thank you very much. Do we have any other check-ins for the W8DPV Monday night band exploration net, and that's tonight on 80 meters?
No, right. Ocean Queen Papa.
Again, was that KD8YDR?
Yes, it was.
Give me a count to 5, I'll give you an S-meter reading.
Hello.
Very good. Noise level here is about S5, and you're hitting me at S9. Just pushing into the red, maybe 5 over S9, but fully readable. So good to hear you in there, and thanks for the check-in. All right, this is W8DPV looking for more check-ins. Do we have any last check-ins for the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Band Exploration Net?
Papa.
WB8CXL, go ahead, Mike. Very good, Mike. Yeah, I got 3 or 4 mics sitting in here in front of me. If I grabbed the wrong one, the radio's on. Who knows what band I'm on? Very good, Dan. All right, WADPV, looking for any check-ins.
November 8, Ocean Queen Papa.
All right, N8OQP, and yes, Forrest, for about the 12th time, you are being heard. Pat, I got you. Go ahead. Go ahead, N8OQP.
Frank, I don't know if you can hear me or not. I got a really high noise level. W03X, do you hear?
He hears you. This is W03X. Frank hears you.
Could you relay something for me here? I forgot to mention on the 2-meter net that anybody that wants to volunteer for that church, the IHM run coming up the 6th of May, needs to get a hold of me. What's happening is I need shirt sizes. So if you are going to volunteer, please get a hold of me so I can get your shirt size so we can get that turned in. That's about all I got. I'll turn it back to Ned. N8OQP.
Okay, Pat. This is W03X. Frank, did you hear that? This is W03X.
Yes, full copy on that. Pat was quite clear coming in here. Just tell him I will be able to attend and help with the run, and I'm an extra large.
Okay, Pat. Frank says that his size is extra large, and he will be able to attend. For me, my size is large, and I will be able to attend also.
Okay, so I need an extra large and a large. All right, I appreciate that. How about Jim Berry, WA3JAT? What's your shirt size, and do you need one? Actually, I was going to give you a call. I have a problem. I don't think I can make that activity. It looks like I'm going to be out of town that weekend. My sister's flying up from Texas to Erie, and so I don't go over there. I don't get to see her very often. Okay, not a problem. We'll take care of it. Anyway, thanks, John, for relaying. N8OQP back to Ned.
Alrighty, very good then. And let's see here. This is WABPV, the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club, looking for any more check-ins for our band exploration net. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and shut it down. All right, real quick, the announcements. This Wednesday, 7:30, we have our monthly activity meeting. It'll be at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ at Broad and 2nd Street. Speaker will be Morgan Lyons, KI5SXY, talking about amateur radio and model and rocketry. She's a student at a Texas University Space Studies, and an excellent speaker from everything I hear. If you can't make it in person, get the Zoom link from our website and show up in Zoom. This coming Saturday, the 29th, we'll be activating the Cuyahoga Valley Park. It'll be from 10 to 2. We'll have 3 stations in operation at O'Neill Woods. It'll be off Martin Road. All guests are invited to show up and watch what happens, get a feel for portable and remote operations, and perhaps make some contacts. If you have any more questions, please contact Jim Berry, WA3JAT. May 10th is our business meeting. It'll be the second and final round of officer nominations. We'll also have a field day planning meeting. And, of course, following the weekend is the Dayton Ham Convention, now in Xenia, on the 19th, 20th, 21st. And our activity meeting for May will be on the 24th. Topic has not been announced yet. If you just without your participation, there would be no net. This has been Frank W8EZT. It's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, we'll close it up with 9-something, I believe. 20 Forest. At 9:47. 73, everyone. This is W8DP here. I'll be clear.
This is WO3X. Yeah, your signal dropped for a while, and then right at the end there, it came back up. So maybe something's loose there. This is WO3X.
Yeah, I'm watching my SWR meter. The warning light just went back off. I'm down here at 1-to-1 again. So, yeah, something was going on. I got one more thing to look into this spring. Maybe the chipmunks are chewing on the coax again. Thanks, John. I'm going to go ahead and get the trash out of here and call it an evening. W8EZT, I'm clear.
Okay, fine business. This is WO3X. I'm clear.
Who's the other station now? Who is that?
Foxtrot Delta.
Foxtrot Delta, what was that?
Kilo 5, Delta, Foxtrot Delta.
Okay, 5 DFT, very good. You're 5'9", old man here, bud.
Right, 5'9", old man.
All right, you too. Thanks a lot for the contact. Kilo Whiskey, 8 November is QRZ. CQ contact from Kilo Whiskey, 8 November. Is there a 7th station in there? Nope, guess not. QRZ? Contact from Kilo Whiskey, 8 November. From Kilo Whiskey, 8 November. Yeah, try that again. Who's the station calling? Yeah, I think you might have even said QRP. I'm trying to find the best antenna to hear you on. Try it again. Okay, I think I found the right antenna now, and I turned it. Now it's a matter of getting your call. Go ahead. Yeah, let me take a stab at it. Kilo 4, Lima, Juliet, Bravo, is that right? All right, very good. Thanks for sticking it out there. All right, QRZ, KW8 Norway. All right, 73, QRZ, KW8 November. Who is this? Something with X-ray? Kilo Whiskey 4 or something. Try again. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what antenna would work best. Kilo Whiskey 4, try again. All right, now you took a dip. Let's try one more. CQ contest. Kilo Whiskey 8 November. All right, I'm going to play a hunch here. I'm going to go this way with this antenna and see what happens. QRZ?
Whiskey Echo 5 Victoria.
Now that I don't even need an antenna for W5B 590 man.
590 man.
All right, thank you. 244 on 20 meters. I was working some close here, guys.
QSL, I'll give it a try. Have a good night. We'll see you later.
All right, see you later, too. CQ contest, Kilo Whiskey 8 November. Bravo, Delta Papa, is that right? I think I got it right. 37DDP 590 man. All right, QRZ, Kilo Whiskey 8 November. Kilo Alpha 6 November Papa Delta 590 band. Thank you, QRZ, KW8 Norway. Kilo Whiskey 8 November. November 1, is that radio Oscar Echo? Yeah, if you're over 26, it's old man, and if you're under 26 and under, it's you. Go ahead. Okay, 590. All right, thank you, sir. Thank you. It's a 1-hour contest on Monday night, so we're almost done. We got 4 minutes left. QRZ, KW8, Norway. And I'm also on 20, 244. QRZ here, KW8, Norway.
November 5, Victor, Hotel, Tango.
Okay, let's take November 5, Victor, Hotel, Tango, 590 old man.
Thank you, 5 and 9, old man also, and thanks for the new band.
All right, thank you. Now Lima Zulu, 590 old man. Something Lima Zulu? I don't know what happened. CQ contest, Kilo Whiskey, 8 November. CQ contest, Kilo Whiskey 8 November.
Alpha Kilo 5, Romeo Charlie.
Alpha Kilo 5, Radio Charlie, 590 old man.
QSL, you're 59 over old man.
All right, thanks. Kilo Whiskey 8 November. Anyone else? Kilo something? K7 Yankee Mike 59 old man. Okay, very good. Thanks for the contact. I'm also on 46244. I can work you again there, but we only have a few minutes left. QRZ, KW8, Norway.
Kilo India 5, Sierra Mike X-ray.
Yeah, that's the mix, 59 old man.
Roger that. Be 59 as well, old man.
Thanks, QRZ.
Kilo Bravo 5, India, Oscar Charlie.
KB5 IOC, 59 old man.
You're a 5-9 here, too, sir, in Arkansas.
Very good, thanks, QRZ. NX7 Yankee, 59 old man. QSL, you are 59 of Alpha Zulu. Is this a call up there? Yeah, you're over 26, right, old man? Wow, very good. Congratulations, sir. I'm chasing at 68 here. QRZ, KW8, Norway. Taking contest, Kilo Whiskey, 8 November. QRZ? Taking contest.
Kilo Whiskey 8 Norway. This is November 5, Romeo, Denmark.
10-5 RLZ, 59 old man.
Roger, that's 20 over.
All right, thank you. Take your contest, Kilo Whiskey 8, Norway. Take your contest, Kilo Whiskey 8, November. Who's the 7? KK7, Juliet Echo Juliet, 59 old man. Okay, sounds like you're over 26, so I'll put down old man for you too, okay? Yeah, you're over 26 years old, right? And that's old man then at this contest. Thank you very much. Thank you, and I see time's expired, so we'll see everybody next week, I hope. Same time, 1 hour, 0100 or 0200, KW8S.
average quality. You got mid-range and you got high. So mix, you know, when you have a excessive.
And I called the radio guys right in the middle of the rag shoot. The radio got just shut off, and that was it. We couldn't get each other no more after that.
What about you?
Upcoming weekend, I am planning with some friends on going to Tom Stock Mountain. It is the...
I didn't go, but anyway, it was overcast that day and cool. But anyway, I went out in the garage and I got out my binoculars. I thought, well, I'll see if there's some airplanes. All I saw was 3 airplanes fly by, which is okay, but they, I guess, was more into static displays for the show there. Go ahead.